Concours Classics on Fast Forward at the 2026 Greenwich Concours d'Elegance with Dick Shappy classic cars and motorcycles. The Greenwich Concours d'Elegance is one of the most prestigious automotive events in the United States, designed to celebrate the pinnacle of automotive artistry. Held annually in Greenwich, Connecticut at the picturesque Roger Sherman Baldwin Park, it is a premier 3-day weekend celebration featuring over 125 meticulously preserved vintage, classic, and rare automobiles. Since 2019, the event has been organized by Hagerty, a prominent collector car insurance and media company. The weekend also features luxury shopping, ride-and-drives, and charitable fundraising. It's set in one of the Northeast's most picturesque harbor parks, the Roger Sherman Baldwin. The Greenwich Grand Tour kicks off the weekend with a scenic parade and drive featuring entrant vehicles that allow the public to interact with collectors and experts. The Hagerty Ride and Drive, presented with Mobile One, invites guests to get behind the wheel of cutting-edge new models or iconic classics from the Hagerty collection and various automakers. You can operate an array of cars with many to choose from, with both automatic and manual transmissions. The Grand Tour starts at the Malcolm Prey Achievement Center in Bedford, New York, for breakfast, and is limited to concours entrant vehicles. They are led through winding, scenic roads in Connecticut and New York to lunch. Saturday is the Greenwich Concours de Sport at the Roger Sherman Baldwin Harborside Park, which focuses on 18 classes of high-performance sports cars, modern hypercars, and iconic automotive racing performance. Keel and soon Hagerty describe it as setting the pace with an exhilarating display of 250 exceptional automobiles, each chosen for its uncompromising design, performance, and innovation. Machines shaped by the relentless pursuit of motorsports excellence. The Concours de Sport is followed by Reverie Greenwich for a chic waterfront soiree, honoring the Grand Marshal with culinary offerings from 5 of Greenwich's most beloved restaurants and handcrafted cocktails. The main event, the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance, is where historically significant American and international collector cars are judged on their elegance, history, and restoration. The event boasts the tagline, "Intimate by design, iconic by nature," and it's an apt description of the show. Keel and soon Hagerty share. On Sunday, the atmosphere shifts to refined elegance as the Concours d'Elegance takes center stage. A carefully curated field of 250 historically significant automobiles will vie for the ultimate honor of Best in Show, judged among peers that represent the very highest standards of craftsmanship and heritage. This year's featured classes include Euripean Coachbuilder, Touring, Packard, BMW Motorcycles, and many more highlights that span generations of automotive artistry. The weekend also included High Tide Talks led by Justin Bell and Bill Rothermel, conversations with distinguished owners and automotive luminaries. They highlight significant vehicles and production is done mid-field. Club Greenwich on the show field offers a private lounge with covered seating, complimentary food, drinks, and more. The Grand Marshal this year was the legendary Paul Russell, founder of Paul Russell & Company, described as the world-renowned restoration and preservation shop that has been stewarding extraordinary automobiles since 1978. He brought a display of his celebrated work that included a 1956 Ferrari 410 Superamerica, a Ferrari 166 194S Berlinetta Le Mans, which won the 1950 Mille Miglia, and a 1959 Porsche 718 RSK Spider. There was one motorcycle class exclusively for BMWs. BMW motorcycles are historically significant for pioneering major industry technologies, including the world's first motorcycle anti-lock braking system. Bristol automobiles also had their own class. Bristols were hand-built, aircraft-grade luxury sports cars. Born from the aviation industry after World War II, they pioneered wind tunnel aerodynamics and featured racing pedigrees. Euripean Coachbuilder touring class showcased designs that elevated automobiles from utilitarian transportation into rolling art and engineering marvels. The Ferrari Dinos were given a class of their own this year, a line of sports cars produced from 1968 to 1976. They were created as an entry-level, relatively affordable sports car to compete with the Porsche 911, notable for having smaller, mostly V6 engines and initially lacking the official Ferrari script and prancing horse badge. The Grand Marshal cars included a 1938 Talbot Lago T150 CSS, a 1950 Ferrari 166mm 195S Le Mans, a 1956 Ferrari 410 Super America, a 1956 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, a 1957 Ferrari 250 GTPF Cabriolet, the Revs Institute's 1959 Porsche 718 RSK Spider, and a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. The horseless carriage class stood out, containing early automobiles dating from the late 19th century through the early 20th century. They were termed horseless carriages because they retained the high frames and body styles of traditional horse-drawn buggies, but were mechanically propelled by steam, electricity, or early internal combustion engines. The muscle performance class was devoted to 1964 to 1970 Pontiac GTOs, vehicles widely revered as the car that kicked off the American muscle car era. It uniquely pioneered the concept of shoehorning a massive, high-performance V8 engine into a lighter, intermediate-sized family car, making raw street racing performance accessible to the everyday buyer. Packard had a class of its own this year. The Packard Motor Car Company, which operated from 1899 to 1958, was a legendary American luxury automobile manufacturer. They were best known for building prestigious, handcrafted American Rolls-Royce vehicles and pioneering major automotive innovations, including the steering wheel, the V12 engine, and early passenger car air conditioning. A small class of Porsche original owners showcased a 1960 356B, a 1965 912, and a 1968 911. The post-war American Cadillacs class was impressive. Vehicles that introduced the aircraft-inspired tail fins, advanced high-compression overhead valve V8 engines, and pioneered wraparound windshields, air suspension, and electronically controlled doors. The post-war English sports cars, on the other hand, were defined by their lightweight construction, nimble handling, and affordable pricing. The post-war Italian sports car class showcased vehicles that uniquely combined aeronautical engineering with breathtaking, custom coachwork. The post-war German sports class was devoted to BMW Roadsters this year, with their handcrafted aluminum bodies, stunning style, and such an exorbitant production cost that the company was nearly pushed to bankruptcy. The post-war prestige class focused on vehicles from the 1940s and 1950s. The pre-war American classics were built before 1941 and best known for blending ostentatious luxury and opulent coach-built styling, and major mechanical milestones. Selected entries included Dick Shappy's 1925 Duesenberg Model A boat-tail roadster, the restoration of which was only completed the day before the show. It drew many curious enthusiasts, as there is only one surviving similar model. The pre-war European Classic class featured handcrafted luxury, radical aerodynamics, and racing-derived engineering. A class dedicated to showcasing the evolution of sports cars focused on vehicles from the 1920s to 1950s. The supercar class stood out with street-legal, high-performance modern sports cars that deliver extreme track-like power, razor-sharp handling, and striking aesthetics. The award ceremonies take place under the Waterfront Awards Arch. Judging is led by Chief Judge Ken Gross, co-leads Nigel Matthews and Chris Kramer, and honorary judges Ed Welburn, Wayne Carini, and Judy Stropus. Congratulations to the Best of Show winners at the Greenwich Concours 2026. According to Hagerty, These remarkable automobiles were selected from 2 exceptional fields, totaling more than 300 vehicles at this weekend's 30th anniversary celebration. Best of Show of the Concours de Sport went to the 1957 Maserati 450S, presented by Nick Soprano. Best of Show of the Concours d'Elegance went to the 1933 Alfa Romeo 8C 2300, presented by Scuderia NE. We look forward to seeing you next year. Visit dsclassics.com to view the Dick Shappy collection.